Hello everyone. My name is Kanak. I'm going to take the session today. I work as how what we are going to just look at, uh,
Kanav, can't hear you properly. Your voice is breaking. This is Mary here. Is it everybody or just me?
Even I can't hear.
Okay.
okay, let me fix it. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Is it audible now?
Yes.
All right. Hi, hello everyone. Try to be more interactive so that it is fun for me as well as you. Okay, I'll try to make sure that all the concepts reaches to you in a proper manner. I'll try to explain each and everything. Just try to make sure you respond back, maybe in the chat window. Okay, let's start the session. Okay, let's not delay it anymore. So the first question that I have, okay, so let's try to discuss something. Okay, so the first thing that I have is, what is machine learning? Okay, what is machine learning? Is there anyone who can answer this question? What do you understand from this term machine learning? I hope the screen is visible
Yes,
to everyone, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I can answer.
Yes, Vasudev, please.
Uh, Without giving any inputs from existing data,
Okay, without.
using inputs and outputs from existing data, it predicts the final results.
Okay, from existing, let me put it in simple words. Okay, so using the data, you are trying to make machines learn from that data,
Yes, sir.
right? And when are you using those predictions, and on which data are you using those predictions? Are you trying to predict? On which data are you trying to predict?
Can be it is supervised or unsupervised data.
No, let's not talk about supervised or unsupervised learning. Let's just try to think
Okay.
of where are we going to predict. So see, this is something called as a learning, right? We are going to learn on this
Yes.
data, and we are going to predict on the future data,
Okay.
right? So that is a correct definition, guys. So let me also give a brief introduction on machine learning and where it fits in the entire data science process, right? Similarly, we are also going to look into deep learning and where this field of deep learning fits in this entire machine learning, sorry, this entire AI bubble. Okay, so I
Sorry,
if
sir. Sir. It is sorry to interrupt you. Could you please ask others to unmute, mute?
okay, I think everybody is on mute, Vasudev. Yes, everybody is on mute. All right. So, guys, if you see this thing, if I ask you, how do you basically define what is AI, what is machine learning, and what is deep learning, right? You already have defined what is machine learning, but if I ask you to differentiate between these three terms over here, can you differentiate it? Do you know what is AI, machine learning, or deep learning, or what is the differences? Anyone?
Yes, I can, sir.
Yes, tell me.
Machine learning and deep learning are sub branches of AI, sir.
Okay.
Uh, AI is it's a kind of completely associated with missions.
Okay, okay, okay. Let me put it this way, Vasudev and others. Let me try to put it this way. Okay, so let me define AI in some different, easy to understand terms. Okay, so AI consists of two words, right? Artificial intelligence, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to first understand these two terms, and then we are going to understand what is AI and how it relates to machine learning and deep learning. Okay, so if we talk about AI, okay, try to understand it in this way. If we talk about AI, right, AI, in this word AI we have this word called as artificial, which means nothing but man-made, right? And what is the example of intelligent being? We know that humans are the intelligent beings out there, right? We as a human being, we are the intelligent beings. Now, if we can create the intelligence, which is nothing but natural, right? A natural intelligence. If we can create natural intelligence in artificial manner, right? If we can create this intelligence man-made, right? If we can manually create this intelligence, we will say that it is nothing but artificial intelligence. Or in simple terms, if we can make machine, if we can make a machine which is nothing but a computer or a robot or something, if we can make this machine think, or if we can make this machine do some intelligent task, right? If we can make this machine either think, or if we can make this machine do some intelligent task, let me put it this way, intelligent task, then can you say that this machine possesses something called as AI? Yes or no? If this machine, if this computer, if your computer can think, right, or if it can perform any of the intelligent task, correct? Yes. So we can say that this computer over here, it possesses something called as artificial intelligence, right? We have created something artificially, and we have embedded that artificial intelligence to this computer, so that using which this computer can either think or it can do some intelligent tasks. Now, what do you mean by intelligent tasks, right? Let's try to understand that. Let's say we already know, right? There is something called as natural intelligence. We already know there is something called as natural intelligence. Now, natural intelligence, if we talk about natural intelligence, right? This human being over here, this human being is a very good example of a naturally intelligent being, right? So if this human being, if this human is a very good example of a naturally intelligent being, so what are the tasks that this human being can perform using that natural intelligence? Let's try to understand those tasks, right? So first of all, there are certain abilities, right? There are certain abilities that this person, that we as a human being, we possess, right? We have certain abilities. For example, we can see things, right? What do I mean by see things? We have something called as vision ability, correct? So if we have vision ability, what are the tasks we can perform? Can you give me an example of a task? Let me start with one example, and then maybe you can carry you can list down some of the other tasks. The first task that I can think of is object detection, right? I can look at any object, and I can simply tell whether it is a chair, whether it is a water bottle, whether it is a bench, whether it is a AC or a laptop or anything, right? I can very easily detect the objects which are present around me, right? Just by looking at those objects. Now, any other tasks that you can think of when you have this vision ability?
You can make eye contact, communication, non-verbal communication.
Yes, you can communicate. So that is okay, but should I put it in this manner? Maybe let's say, um, you can signal, or you can make some signs, right?
Yes.
Right. So that is good. Anything else?
So by seeing, your brain is able, you can think only what you perceive with your eyes.
Yes.
So
Correct.
you make your brain think of the objects that identify.
Yes. Correct.
Or also, what are the tasks it can perform? Like editor, it can perform anything like any type of work. It can also observe it
It can also.
like whatever the for suppose if you taken an object like a car, whether it's in a moving state or it is in a steady state or like.
Yes, correct, correct. So in simple terms, you are able to understand the movement, right? You can see where the things are moving, right?
Right.
You can basically detect the object and understand where they are moving,
Moving.
right?
Right.
Similarly, can I also say you are missing on some of the very easy things that you can do with vision ability? Let me put it in this way, okay? Can you detect, can you in simple terms recognize the face of a person just by looking at him or her? Is it possible? Yes or no? Facial
Yes. Pretty.
recognition, right?
Yeah. Pretty
Yes.
decent.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Similarly, you can also identify between different animals, different you can very easily detect the faces, right? Let me not go to that thing. Maybe let's say you can detect the faces, right? You can also detect the faces. Let's say you are giving a seminar in front of thousands of people. There, maybe let's say you can detect the faces, right? You can just look at the audience and you can detect कि ठीक है, there is a face, there is a face, there is a person, there is a person, right? You can do all those things just by having this simple vision ability. Similarly, we also have other abilities. For example, let's talk about a very intuitive ability, and this decision making ability. Now, what can I do with this decision making ability? As a human being, we all have this decision making ability, right? What we can do is we can very easily drive a car, right? Driving a car or riding a bike is nothing but making decisions at each and every second, right? Similarly, you can play video games, right? And similarly, there are so many other tasks that you can do using these abilities, right? Is it making sense to everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, let's also talk about natural language processing ability. As a human being, we are trained on maybe Hindi, right? Or English, or maybe let's say Telugu, right? Or any other Punjabi, any other language, right? We naturally understand, we naturally adapt to these languages. Now, using these different languages, we can do multiple tasks, right? For example, if somebody is texting us, we can understand the sentiment behind that text, right? For example, if somebody texts you, right? Maybe let's say you have a very long crush on somebody and they tell you that I like you, right? So this is a very positive thing that you will see, right? This is containing a positive sentiment, right? So you can very easily understand the sentiments behind all the text that you see, right? So you are a natural sentiment analyzer. Similarly, if somebody sent if maybe let's say somebody sends you a text, right? Let's say let's talk about this text. You won $1 million, right? Maybe let's say somebody, you receive this text, you won $1 million. Now, can you tell me whether this text is a spam or a normal email or a message? Whether it is a normal message or it is a
Spam. Spam.
correct,
Spam.
correct, correct. So similarly, see, we can very easily understand whether a mail is a spam or a ham, right? Similarly, let me write another statement here. Okay, let me try to write some other statement. So if I try to write something like this, maybe Virat Kohli scored a century today. Let's say this is the statement. Now, can you categorize this text to one of the category? Maybe let's say politics.
News.
Okay,
Like,
so let's, this is a news, correct. But can you, in the news, can you tell me whether this statement should belong to politics or it should, correct. You are very easy, it is easily identifiable, right? You know this person, you can understand the sentiment behind this entire text, you understand this text, and you can very easily do this thing called as article tagging, right? You are tagging this article because you understand that this article comes from a sports section, right? Similarly, there are so many other abilities that as a human being we possess. Other abilities, maybe you can talk about hearing ability. We can hear, right? We can hear. Now, just by having this hearing ability, right? Just by having this hearing ability, we can do multiple different things. For example, if you talk to your maybe father or maybe your friends or maybe your brother, just by listening to their voice, you can identify who the speaker is, right? Is it making sense, guys? So you can do speaker identification just by having this ability to hear.
Yes.
Great. Now try to understand one thing, right? So all these tasks, right? They come with this human being, right? We as a human being, we are able to do all these tasks, right? Now, if the question is, can we make machines do these tasks? If we can make machines, yes. So how do we do that? Using AI, right? Let's not worry about how to implement all these things. Let's not worry about those things. We are just trying to understand what AI can do for us, right? So AI in simple terms means that automating these tasks that as a human being is for a human being, it is very easy for us to do, but for a machine, it is going to be very difficult to do these tasks, right? And I guarantee that most of you might understand, most of you might be knowing that all these tasks that are listed here, which are very easy for a human being to do, you might have seen maybe one or more applications performing these artificially intelligent tasks. Maybe if I ask you, have you ever seen any autonomous driving vehicle, or have you ever heard of any company which can provide this autonomous driving vehicle?
Yes.
Yes. And which company is that?
I think it's Tesla.
Yes, Tesla. So everybody knows about Tesla, right? So Tesla, they have these self-drive cars, right? In maybe let's say 50 years before today, it would be a dream, right? It would be a dream to have a self-drive vehicle driving on a real road, right? But right now, Tesla, they are making these autonomous driving vehicle, right? They are having this artificial intelligence because of which they are able to do all these things, right? Similarly, have you ever seen automatic system which can play video games? Anyone? This one is interesting. I hope many of us are gamers here.
Yes. Is it related to PUBG or something?
Yes, I think it can. You can. Yes. Yes. Bots in PUBG.
Yeah.
Right. You have chess video games, right? You have chess. A computer can very easily play a chess or a Ludo or maybe bot in PUBG.
Yeah.
Right. So all these things comes with this AI implementation of artificial intelligence, right? As a human being, we can do it, right? Very well, we can do it, but we can also make machines do these tasks. Now, similarly, let me circle another thing. Have you ever seen spam ham detector anywhere?
Mail, email.
Yes, your Gmail, your Yahoo Mail, all of them comes with something called as spam ham detection. They will automatically tag a spam and they will push it to the spam inbox, right? Similarly, have you ever seen article tagging? Have you ever seen
Article
this?
tagging in news apps and all those things, or we get a notification like for any
Yes.
promotion with a example basic link, they will send a
Yes, correct,
message.
correct, correct, correct. Let me put it in this way, okay? You might have seen whenever a mail comes to you, right? If it comes to your inbox, right? If it comes to your inbox, it will automatically get tagged either with a social mail or a promotional or a normal email, right? So our Gmail, right? It is able to do all these different things automatically. Similarly, there is one more very interesting feature nowadays that these platform like Gmail or LinkedIn or all these things provides us. It is called as smart replies. Anyone who can explain me what is smart replies? What do you mean by smart reply?
Predefined replies.
Yes. So let's say somebody is saying happy birthday, right? Somebody is wishing you happy birthday, maybe on LinkedIn. So as soon as you look at that message, it will come to your mind, right? You will say thank you, right? Similarly, if you open LinkedIn, right, or if you open Gmail, it will try to give you some smart replies to the mails or to the messages that you receive. For example, LinkedIn, if somebody wishes you happy birthday, the LinkedIn will automatically give you a smart reply saying that you can write thank you there, right? Similarly, if you go to Gmail and if somebody is maybe offering you a job or something, they will also give you some options for this smart replies, right? And nowadays, I think most of us are directly clicking on these smart replies instead of writing the messages on our own, right? So similarly, let me also talk about, right? So these are the things that are already, so companies have already built these different things, right? We are talking about humans. As a human being, we can do all these tasks. And the things that I have circled in green, we have seen that these are the tasks that are done by machines also nowadays, right? Similarly, if we talk about detecting the face, any application that you have seen which can do this facial detection, face detection, not the recognition. I'm not talking about face recognizing, I'm talking about detecting the face.
Yeah, we have it kind of installed in our cell phones, right? Facial recognition
Yes.
features to unlock it.
Yes, correct. And what about the facial detection?
The companies use that for login
Yes.
product.
Yes. So
Yeah,
facial,
like, yeah.
yes, correct. So facial recognition is already is there in your mobile phones, right? You can unlock your phone using this facial recognition software. Plus, I am also talking about detecting the face, right? There is a difference between detecting the face and recognizing the face, right? If you talk about recognition, you will be able to tell whose face is that, right? Whereas if you talk about detecting the face, you will be able to tell, for example, let's say this is a photo, right? And maybe let's say this is a person here, this is a person here. Facial detection mean you will be able to tell whether there is a face here or not, right? There will be a bounding box around the face which is able to detect the face, right? Recognition, facial recognition, it is built on top of the facial detection system, right? Facial recognition, it will tell you whose face is this. For example, Facebook, it will automatically tag the person who is standing in the photo, right? It will say that this is a ABC person or this is a XYZ person, right? So there is a difference between detecting the face and recognizing the face. You have to understand that, right? Similarly, object detection. This is also one of the very interesting thing out there. You might have seen self-drive cars, right? We were talking earlier about the self-drive cars. So Tesla, they have the self-drive cars, right? Now, if these self-drive cars, let's say they are not able to detect the objects that are there on a road, on a street, they are not able to understand, they are not able to detect the objects. In this case, the objects are on any highway, Let's say this is a highway. On any highway, what are the kind of objects you will see? You will see different vehicles, right? You will see bikes, you will see cars, you will see trucks, you will see different kind of vehicles on a highway, right? Now, if your self-drive car is not able to detect these objects, right, which are nothing but different vehicles, or maybe a human being is also an object, right? Maybe some animal on a road, on a highway is also an object for that software system, right? So if your vehicle, if your self-drive car is not able to detect these objects, it is of no use, right? So object detection is having multiple different applications around different applications. Whenever you see a camera, and if that camera is linked with some computer and that computer is having some AI inbuilt, if that computer is having some AI software, it is obvious that there is going to be some object detection or some detection, some detector in that entire thing. Okay, it will be detecting something, and on top of it, they will be building some different applications. Okay, that will belong to maybe computer vision. Okay, there is another branch of all these tasks related to videos and audio, all these videos and images, which comes under computer vision. We are going to talk about computer vision as a part of this course, right? Similarly, if you talk about sentiment analyzer, right? So sentiment analyzer is also having a very huge application. Okay, so you will see as a part of this course how to build your own sentiment analyzer. Okay, so we are going to come to that also. Now, is this clear to everyone? What is AI? We are only talking about AI. What is AI? AI is nothing but if we can make a computer think or do some intelligent task, right? We will say that this computer, any computer which can do any intelligent task, will say that it is possessing something called as AI, right? If we can create intelligence artificially, we will say that is nothing but artificial intelligence. Is this clear till this point to everyone?
Yes,
sir.
Yes. Now let's try to solve a very interesting problem. Okay, let's try to do one prediction task, right? So many of you have been thinking that this prediction and everything comes under AI, machine learning, all these things, right? Let's try to actually do the prediction task, right? First of all, before going to that prediction task, let me also briefly talk about machine learning and deep learning, right? So AI is a field which talks about multiple different tasks that can be performed by a machine, right? AI is a field that simply talks about different intelligent tasks that can be automated or that can be manually created, right? So that can be manually or maybe done by a machine, right? Now, machine learning is a field which helps you to achieve AI. Okay, machine learning, it will contain all the tools. Machine learning contains all the tools, all the mathematics, all those crazy stuff that is going to help you in doing all the tasks that you see that are circled in green over here. Okay, machine learning is the thing that is going to help you in solving these problems, right? Similarly, what is deep learning? Deep learning is again machine learning algorithms. Okay, if you recall, maybe many of you might have seen a diagram which looks like this, right? So always machine learning, deep learning comes under machine learning, right? What does it mean? It means that deep learning is nothing but the set of machine learning algorithms, right? Deep learning is nothing but the set of machine learning algorithms that can help us to solve all these tasks that you see again in green color, right? That can help us to solve all these tasks in a better way. Okay, if you have lots and lots of data, you will choose deep learning over machine learning. And if the problem statement that you are trying to solve is very complex, again, you are going to use deep learning when compared to machine learning. Okay, machine learning can very well work on not very large data set. If you don't have a lot of data, maybe let's say if you have let's say 1 million data points or maybe 10 million data points, machine learning can very well handle that kind of data. But if you have really very large data, then maybe going with deep learning will make more sense. It also depends upon the problem statement that you are trying to solve. Okay, so we are going to anyways come to all this machine learning and deep learning and where to apply ML and where to apply deep learning in this course, right? Now let's try to, so is it clear to everyone? What is AI, what is machine learning, and what is deep learning? Machine learning, deep learning, they are tools that will help you in achieving AI. All right?
Yes.
All right. People who are not communicating on the voice chat, can you please maybe write in the chat box? Let's make it a two-way communication, guys. Thank you so much, Vinay. Thank you so much, Ritvik, Soumya. Thank you so much. All right, so let's continue. Let's try to solve a task. Okay, so after this class, you should be at least be comfortable with what is what. Okay, so we'll try to solve a task. We'll try to solve something now. Okay, so let's call it as a male-female classifier. Male-female classifier. Okay, we will try to create a classifier, a machine learning classifier. We'll try to create something. Okay, let's not say machine learning or deep learning. Let's try to use all the things that we know till this point in time, and we'll try to build something like a male-female classifier, right? Let's say there is some data given to us, right? We have been talking about the data and all those things, right? So let's say the data is given to us. Maybe this data, let's talk about a very small data set. Okay, the data set which contains some height. Okay, let's say there are some weights and there are some genders. Okay, for simplicity, let's only talk about males and females, and let's try to talk about centimeter heights in centimeters and weights in kilograms. Okay, let's say the data that we have looks something like this. There are multiple different columns and multiple different rows, right? Now, can you understand? Try to see this very carefully, guys. Can you understand that each row in this data, maybe let's say there is first row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row, sixth row. Each row in this data will represent one human individually, right? Each row will contain the details about a single person, right? So maybe let's say there is a male data point with a height of 180 centimeters and maybe a weight of let's say 80 kgs, right? Similarly, let's say there is a female, right? There is a female with maybe let's say 60 kgs weight and maybe let's say 160 centimeters height. Okay, I'm just making this data. I'm just creating this data as we go along. Maybe let's say there is another male, right? There is another male with some weight, maybe let's say 90 kgs weight and maybe let's say 180 centimeters height again, right? Again, let's try to say there is another male, right? Let's say there is another male and we are going to have two more data points. Let's say this male is having around 75 kgs weight and maybe let's say this male is having 190 centimeters height, right? Similarly, let's have some data points for female also. Let's have female data point and a female data point again, right? Let's say this female over here is having a 50 kgs weight with 150 centimeters height. And maybe let's say there's a female with 54 kgs weight and maybe let's say 160 or let's not have 160 centimeters. Let's have 155 centimeters height. Right, so this is the entire data that we have. Let's say this is a female and this is a female. So this is the data that we have. Now we want to make our machine, right? Let's say we want to make our machine do the predictions, right? We want our machines to do the predictions on future data point. Let's say we have a future data set, right? Let's say there are two more people who came to me, right? And they are asking, they are saying that I will give you my height in centimeter. I will provide you this data. I will provide you this data in future, my height in centimeter and my weight in kgs. You just try to tell me what is my gender. Okay, let's say this is a kind of thing that we need to do. Let's say there is one guy who came with these details, and maybe let's say there is another guy who came with these details. Now, just by looking at this data, just by looking, okay, let's not think about machine learning, let's not think about deep learning, let's not think about anything. Just try to have a look at this data. And can you tell me what should be the gender of first data point and what should be the gender of second data point?
Male and second.
Female.
Okay, male and female. Just by looking at the data, right? We are able to very easily understand, we are able to understand the patterns in the data, right? As a human being, we are very good with understanding the patterns in a very limited amount of data, right? So we were able to understand this pattern just by looking at this data, that the pattern was all the males are having so they are having heights greater than some value, as well as they are having weights greater than some threshold value, right? For example, everybody is having more than 75 kgs weight, all the males, right? Whereas females are having comparatively lesser weight and lesser height, right? Now, let's say this is done by a human being, right? You as a human being, you did this thing very easily. But let's say we don't want to make a human being do this task. We want to make a computer do this task. How would you make a computer do this task? Anyone? Can you think of a solution to maybe come up with what is the gender of this future data point and what is the gender of this future data point? Let's not talk about any algorithm. Let's not talk about any of these things. Let's just focus on how, in a very simple way, a computer can solve this problem. Try to think of it. A computer, your mobile phone, you can do it very easily on any mobile phone or any computer. Try to think of it. Try to maybe come up with a solution.
Like setting some height up to certain range on this
Okay.
particular one like 160 to 180.
Okay.
Automatically with a weight of 70 to 90. So
Okay.
automatically the system can recognize it should be belongs to a male.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
setting some points like that.
Great. So is it Chaitanya?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. All right. That is a very good observation, Chaitanya. Guys, see, what Chaitanya has to offer is, he's saying that let me try to observe the data, right? He's saying, let's try to observe the data. And from this from this small data set, it is very easy to observe that heights. Okay, let me try to, so he's saying, let me try to set a threshold on the height and weight. And based on that threshold, I will write something in my computer which is going to help me in understanding what is the height or the weight of any person. Now, is it making sense to everyone, guys? This very simple thing. Let me try to simplify. Let me try to say, let's not use this thing for now. Let's use as a second solution. Let's try to use something else as a first solution. Anyone who can think of any other thing, maybe comparatively easier thing than this. So this is our second solution. We'll look into something, some other solution for as our first solution. Then we will come to this solution, Chaitanya. Okay. All right. Now, anyone who can think of any other solution, a simpler solution.
Say instead of trying to put in a range, how about just 160 and above? Like,
yes, correct. That means the same thing. So you are simply saying 160 to infinity and 70 to infinity, right?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So that will again come to the second solution. We again are at the second solution. Let's try to think of something else. Okay.
What about taking 1/3 of the height as the weight?
Sorry. What about?
Taking 1/3 of the height as a weight.
Okay. I got it. So that also comes under something called as a second solution. Okay, you are using everybody. See, we as a human being, we will try to always observe the patterns, right? Let's not think about the patterns, right? Let's just think about how a machine can, without even using any programming, without any pattern, without recognizing anything, can do this thing, right? So let's try to think about it. That is a very interesting thing. We can look at the 1/3 of the heights and all those things. That is a very interesting thing. But let's try to come up to the very basic naive solution. Yes, anyone who was saying
Yes,
something?
I can.
Yes.
What is
And-
the IS number which is repeated again and again based on that?
Okay, so you want to look at the data and you want to figure out the number which is repeated again and again.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's say you are talking about heights.
Yes.
So what is that number? 180. The highest number which is repeated multiple times, right?
Yes.
Yes. So now what do we need to do with that number?
Okay. It's not possible.
Okay. Anyone else?
So we are not even going to calculate the BMI or anything, right? Because that again falls. Okay.
Falls under the same thing.
Okay.
All right. So try to see this very carefully, guys. Okay. Let me try to give you a possible solution. Okay. Try to think about that solution after the class, maybe if you want. Okay. All the solutions that you all came up with, it belongs to something called as decision making, right? Decision making.
Yes,
You
Yes.
were, yeah, right? So maybe let's say BMI, or maybe let's talk about the range wala thing, or maybe talk about 1/3 of something, right? It all boils down to something called as decision making, right? We will put some thresholds. We will put, maybe let's say we are computing the BMI, or we are considering the range, or we are considering the 1/3 of any value. We will finally make a decision based on these values. We will say, if this is the value, do this, else do this, right? We are going to make a decision. This is called as, in programming, it is called as conditional programming, or if else statements in programming. Okay, we are going to come to that when we learn Python. Okay, that is, I think 1 or 2 weeks away from this class. Okay, let's not worry about that. But let's try to solve this same problem with a very simple, naive solution. Okay, you will laugh. I hope you laugh at this solution. What if I store this entire data in my computer's memory? Our computer is going to have a RAM or hard drive, right? So let's try to store this entire data to our computer as an Excel sheet. Okay, maybe let's try to store this entire data in our hard drive, okay, in an Excel sheet. Now, let's say this guy came to us and he's saying that this is my height, this is my weight. Please tell me my gender. Now, what you need to do, you can simply do a lookup, right? You can simply do a lookup or a search. In simple terms, you can search this entire data, whatever you have, right? Now, do you find any point which belongs to this search that you are making? Yes, it belongs, right? It belongs to this, this column, the row number 3. You can directly say this is nothing but a male. This data point is nothing but a male. What you are doing here is you are simply saving this entire data to your computer and you are making a search, a simple search, right? Nothing else. Similarly, do you see any 150 and 50 in this data? Yes, I do see 150 and 50 in this data, and that is nothing but a female. Okay, let's not use our brain today, right? So this is something that you can come up with. Now, is it making sense? Is this example making any sense?
Yes.
What if there is a female with the same height and weight?
There are going to be exceptions always. There are always going to be exceptions. Whatever you come up with, your solutions are never going to be 100% accurate. Even in machine learning, even in deep learning. Okay, that is going to happen when you start solving the problems in this entire course. You will understand that these are the things you can't skip. Okay, you can't get 100% accuracy. If you are getting 100% accuracy, just understand that your model is doing something foolish. Okay, so that is not possible. Is it clear till this point?
Yes, sir.
All right. So this was the very naive solution, right? It was very naive. It was not using even a single thing, okay, except for that search algorithm written by any computer science student or a computer science person. It was not using any other thing, right? Similarly, let's talk about some other solutions. For example, you were anyways talking about the range wala solution. Let's try to figure out how to solve this question using the same range wala solution. Okay, let's try to solve the same thing using this range wala solution. So let's try to maybe solve this problem in a better way using this range solution. Let's try to write a simple English statement. Okay. Now, anyone who can tell me this is a male, right? Let me first mark all the males. Now, do you see any threshold value that you can set above which all the heights belong to a male? Any threshold value above which you see there are all the data points are belonging to a male class?
190.
No.
179 above.
Yes. Maybe 175 or 170, right?
Above 175.
Yes. I think let's take a margin of error and maybe let's move towards 175.
75, yes.
Right. So can I say if any future data point that I have, I just need to ask them for their height. If this height is greater than or equal to 175, and if the weight is greater than equal to some threshold. Now you come up with a threshold value. Tell me, anyone, what should be the threshold value? What you think should be the best threshold value in this example?
Above 70.
Yes, maybe 70, right? Maybe 70. So if this condition holds true, if both these things holds true, right? Both these things together holds true, then you can say that it is nothing but a male. Otherwise, you will simply say that it is nothing but a female. Now, is it making sense till this point? The thing that I have just written?
Yes.
Now you can write the beauty of this entire decision statement is you can very easily implement this decision statement using Python code. Okay, let me write that Python code and you guys tell me, is that Python code looking easy to understand or difficult to understand? I will write entire Python program just in front of you in this box. Okay, that can do the same thing that I have just written here. Okay. So I need to say something like this in Python. Okay. Sorry, 70, and then there will come a colon over here, and I will simply print, maybe in this case male. Else I need to print
female.
Correct. Now, is this thing that I have written in this box, is it looking very difficult to understand?
No, sir.
Anyone from a non-programming or non-IT background? Anyone who can tell me, is it very difficult to understand?
No.
So this is the actual Python program which can solve this same problem. If you run this program in your Python, it will be very easily, so Python will be very easily able to execute this program, right? This program simply means if you are making some decisions, right? If this entire thing holds true, then you simply need to say male. If this thing is not true, if this part is not true, then simply go to this otherwise wala part and simply print a female. Right? In simple terms, you are saying that this data point is going to be a male and this data point is going to be a female. Now, is this clear to everyone how I solved this problem using Python program?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes.
Now I have a question, very interesting question. Do you see that this program that I just wrote, this is not what computer is learning, right? Computer is not learning even a single thing here. We are explicitly writing a program in order to make computer understand that this point is this, that point is that, right? We are not making a computer learn anything, right? It is again a dumb machine, right? We are not doing any learning, but this program is going to look like that the computer is having some intelligence, right? Is it making sense? Using this program, computer is not learning anything, right? Computer is only performing some operations on the given, on the future data points. It will only perform some operations on the future data point. It won't learn from this data. Making sense, guys?
Yes.
All right. Now let's try to come up with something. Let's try to come up with maybe let's say a solution that will make my computer learn something. Okay. Let's actually talk about the learning part. Right. How will my computer learn? Okay. So let's not even talk about these complicated learning things and all those things. Let's only try to see what is the another way to solve the same problem. Right. So I will try to use this figure. Let me try to zoom out a little so that we can use some space towards the right of this. So let's try to see how using simple mathematics, right? I hope everybody and remember some of the mathematics. Okay, you don't need to be very good with mathematics in this class, but let me try to show you a very simple thing here. Now, anyone from mathematical background or maybe anyone who can tell me what does it look like? Have you ever seen something like this in mathematics?
Yes, XY plane.
Yes, XY coordinate plane, right? Yes, it is a graph, right? We are simply going with a graph. Correct. Now, in this graph, right? Do you see that in the data, we have 3 different columns, but this graph contains only 2 axes, right? Can I represent height on this axis and weight on this axis? Is it possible? Is it actually possible? If it is possible, how should I do that? Okay, let's try to understand that. Okay, let me not ask this question. Maybe many of you are not from the mathematical background. Let me try to draw this, okay, so that you understand. So what is the minimum height we have here? 150. Let's start with the 150 over here. 150, 160, maybe 170, maybe 180, 70, 80, and 190. Okay, let's have these marks on this x-axis, and on the y-axis, let's have some more marks. So what is the minimum? 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Right? Now, anyone, now there is nothing in this entire thing. Anyone who can tell me how do I represent this data point? Let me mark that data point, then you tell me, okay? How do I represent this data point on this coordinate plane? Try to think of it. How do I represent this data point on this coordinate plane?
So you will get a common point inside the graph.
Correct.
Through which, you can draw
Correct.
the line towards the weight and the height axis.
So see, what we can do is we can see on height, we have 180, right? On the height axis, we have 180. On the weight axis, we have 80. So what we can do is we can come up with this common point and we can plot this point over here, and we can say that this point is nothing but the representation of this data point. Now, is it correct? Is it clear to everyone how I represented this data point on this coordinate plane?
Yes.
Nice. Now let's try to understand how to represent. Let me try to quickly represent all the other points. So this is my second data point, 160 and 60. Third data point is 180 and 90. So let me plot it, 190 and 90. Fourth data point is 190 and 75. Fourth data point is 190 and 75. It will come somewhere here. Similarly, the fifth data point is 150, 50. 150, 50 will come somewhere here. 155 and 154, 54. 155 and 54 will come somewhere here. Now, everyone understands how I plotted all these 6 points? Everybody understood this thing? Okay.
Yes.
Now,
Yes, sir.
Now the next question, okay, the next question. Is there anything that you are observing from this entire data? Now, the data is represented in this mathematical form, right? In this coordinate plane, on this coordinate plane, right? Now, is there anything that you are inferring, that you are able to understand from this data? Is there any pattern that you can see?
Yes, the higher you move towards the right-hand side of the graph, it represents the data for the male, and the higher you move, like,
Yes.
towards the right and towards
But I have a question, Mary. I have a question, okay? So is there any way to confirm whether this data point is a male or a female? Do you actually know from this data that you have? We just have this graph, right?
Yes.
Are we using any gender information to plot this graph?
No.
How do you know whether this point is a male or a female, right?
We don't know it yet.
Yes, we don't know it yet, right?
Yes.
Now, first of all, how do I use this data that is still remaining over here, right? I have this data that I have not used to plot this entire thing in front of you, right? So how do I use this data how do I use this data in this plot? This is my third dimension, right? This is my third dimension, gender, right?
Yes.
But plotting the third dimension is going to be very tricky in this two-dimensional thing that you see in front of you, right? So let me try to, instead of plotting that thing, let me try to do something interesting over here. Okay, let's try to make the female genders shine a little bit. Okay, let's try to color code the data points.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Right, let's try to color code the data points. All these data points without any color, all these boring data points are nothing but the male data points. All these colorful data points are the female data points. Now it is visible to us, right? Now it is visible to us that there are all the female data points before this. If I draw this boundary, right? If I draw this boundary, you can see that all the data points towards the left of this boundary belong to the female class. Yes or no?
Yes.
All the data points belonging towards falling in this region towards the right of this boundary belongs to what? Belongs to a male class, right? Now, try to see what just happened, okay? I just plotted a line, right? I just plotted a line, and this line is able to do, I will say, I don't need any if-else statement. I don't need any computer to memorize the entire data. I will simply use this line, right, which my computer just learned, right? My computer, it is very good with numbers, right? So it will be able to do all these mathematics so it won't be a very big task for a computer to do all the mathematics behind computing this line. Right? So if somehow I can make my computer learn from this entire data, whatever you have, and come up with this line, I can very easily solve this problem of classifying a data point to a male or a female class. How? I don't need any data now. I just need this line. What I will do is I will simply plot the future data points. Let's say I get this data point in the future, right? I just need to plot this data point. This is 180, this is 90, right? So where will this data come? This data point fall? It will fall towards the right of this line. And I know from my learning, right? My computer will know from the learning that it did from this data, training data, that this point belongs to nothing but male class, right? Similarly, if you try to plot this point, which is nothing but 150 and 50, let's try to plot it. It will easily understand that this data point is falling towards the left of this line. It is nothing but a female data point. Now try to see the power of this line, okay? This line that we just plotted. Let's say there are other data points, right? Let's say there are some other data points. Let's try to consider a data point which is not there in this entire data set. Let's try to say 165, right? Let's try to say, maybe let's say 60. Right? Let's say 165 and 60. If you try to plot this data point, this is 165 and this is 60, right? So the data point will come somewhere here. See, it is a female, right? It is a female. It is able to tell this is a female. Maybe let's say there is a data point which is around 175 and maybe let's say 100 kgs, right? 175 and 100 kgs. It will be a male. Now, are you able to understand this, guys? Are you able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. So this is what your modern machine learning uses. Okay, modern machine learning is nothing but mathematics, right? So you will use lots and lots of mathematics in order to solve these problems. But you don't have to worry about all the mathematics that is going to come into picture. It is going to be very easy, trust me. The only thing is you have to revise all the lectures, whatever you have. Okay, because see, we are going to start from the very scratch, right? We are going to start from the very scratch. We are going to start thinking about that you don't know anything about machine learning, thinking about you don't know anything about mathematics. We are going to start our course with something called as Python programming. Okay, we are going to start with Python programming, and we are going to take around 2 to 3 weeks to complete this entire module on Python programming. Okay, if you are very good with Python, if you are very good with any one programming language, you won't even require 1 week to completely understand Python, right? But we are considering that, let's say you don't have any idea on Python or any other programming language. Let's try to give it 2 to 3 weeks to complete. Okay, somebody from industry who is very good with Python, that expert is going to take your session on Python, right? Similarly, the next thing that is going to come into your way is statistics, right? You will have some statistics classes, maybe 1 or 2 classes, or maybe maximum 3 classes, in order to make you understand what is a mean, what is a median. You might have heard of these terms. I hope you have heard of these terms. Mode, standard deviation, variance, right? So all these terms, all these basic statistics, you will be having some classes on these basic statistics. Once you have the classes on these basic statistics, the second part of this module, right? Module number 2 is a data analysis. Right? In this data analysis, you will be learning some libraries, which are Python libraries like NumPy. Right? If you know Python, you will be very easily able to use these libraries like NumPy, Pandas, right? Matplotlib, Seaborn, right? So all these things you can do very easily if you know Python, right? Similarly, in data analysis, you will also learn how to do a exploratory data analysis, right? In order to perform some exploratory analysis, how to do that, you will also be learning that thing. Right. Similarly, in the data analysis itself, you will be learning something called as web scraping. Let's say you require some data. Maybe let's say you want to shop on Flipkart and you are looking for some data. Right. Let's say you want to scrape out the data from all the Flipkart. Maybe let's say you are planning to buy a mobile phone or a laptop, and you want to scrape out the data from this website, maybe Flipkart or Amazon or maybe some other e-commerce website, and you want to analyze this data to see what kind of customers or what kind of products are there on this website and what price range, right? What price range contains what kind of features, right? You don't want to look at Flipkart, you want to do a proper EDA on that data. So we'll be teaching you how to perform, how to do this web scraping from the websites, and how to analyze that data again using this EDA that you have already learned, right? So this is going to be your one of the projects. Okay, you will also be getting some project after completing this module. Once you have done this module, there is going to be something called as advanced statistics, right? Where you will be learning some probability. You will be learning something called as inferential statistics. Right? You will be learning something called as hypothesis testing. Right? Let me warn you, this is going to be a little trickier one. This module is going to be a little trickier one. So I will advise all of you to attend the classes for this module. Because in exploratory data analysis, you will somehow, in one or the other way, you are going to use one of these things like hypothesis testing or the inferential statistics. Okay, these are the things you are going to use in EDA also. And we are going to connect the dot on how to implement all these things in your EDA, right? Similarly, now comes the fun part, machine learning, right? This is the place where you will be starting your machine learning journey after completing all this thing. So starting with machine learning, you will have some classes on linear algebra. Okay, why linear algebra? Anyone who can explain why do we have classes on linear algebra? Anyone who knows about something about linear algebra or maybe have some understanding of this entire thing? Anyone? Yes or no in the chat? You can type in no if you don't know.
No.
Okay, thank you so much.
Probably yes. We are going to probably we are going to use algorithms, probably we are going to use plots, and
To get to know the unknown value with the known value.
Okay, so see, all the answers are correct, right? So we are going to plot something and do all these things, right? So see, do you recall the example that we just solved, right? We solved this male-female classification problem, right? And how did we solve this problem? Using this coordinate geometry and equation of a line, right? So equation of a line, everybody knows it, right? Y equal to mx plus c is the equation of a line. Right. So all these mathematical concepts, right? Even I know that many of the people, even after learning all these concepts, right? We know that many of us won't remember these concepts. What is y equal to mx plus c? What is m? What is c? What are all these things? So in order to clarify all those doubts, in order to clarify all these things, we'll go with the basics of linear algebra, right? We'll teach what is a matrix, what is a line, how to plot a line, what are in y equal to mx plus c, in this equation of a line, what is m, what is c, right? How do you plot a line, and everything. Okay, we'll try to teach each and everything in this linear algebra classes. Now, once you are comfortable with linear algebra, we'll try to have multiple different algorithms that we will classify, that will basically put under different buckets, right? So there is going to be one bucket of regression algorithms. There is going to be another bucket of classification algorithms, right? And both these kind of algorithms will fall under a big bucket of supervised learning, right? Similarly, there is another thing called as unsupervised learning. In unsupervised learning, you are going to have different kind of algorithms like clustering algorithms and dimensionality reduction algorithms, right? For each bucket that you see here, each small bucket that you see here, all these 4 buckets, you will have multiple different algorithms in each of these buckets. Like linear regression will be coming here, right? You will have decision tree regression, you will have k nearest neighbor regression, right? There are multiple different algorithms that you'll be working on in this section. Similarly, in classification, you will be working on something called as logistic regression. You'll be working on something called as SVM. You'll be learning something called as decision tree this classification. You will be learning something called as random forest, gradient boosted decision trees, right? These names might sound a little difficult one, but trust me, when it comes to mathematics and all these things, it will become a little fun to understand all these concepts. Similarly, when it comes to clustering, you will be working on something called as k-means clustering, right? There is something called as k-means plus, right? There is something called as a DB scan. There is something called as hierarchical clustering, right? You are going to work on multiple different clustering algorithms. Similarly, when it comes to dimensionality reduction, you are going to work on something called as PCA, principal component analysis, and that's it, right? This is going to be a very extensive machine learning module. Okay, there are going to be many different algorithms that you are going to work on in this entire module. When it comes to deep learning, right? Deep learning, I'm so sorry, I'm lazy about writing all these words, so please cop up with this thing, right? This is deep learning. Okay, so so the thing that we have for deep learning is ANN, artificial neural network. Okay, similarly, there is another thing, there is another algorithm called as CNN, convolutional neural network, right? There is another algorithm called as recurrent neural network, right? So let me put it in this way. Okay, so these are the 3 algorithms that we are going to learn as a part of this deep learning course, right? And these are the very high level algorithms that are going to help you in solving multiple different tasks. For example, all the things that we will do in machine learning, okay, they can be solved, that they can be solved by the use of artificial neural network also, or the convolutional neural network, or the recurrent neural network, in one or the other way. Okay, so maybe you are going to use combinations of these algorithms to solve those complex tasks in machine learning, right? For example, let's say convolution. Let's talk about convolutional neural network. So do you remember the facial recognition, facial detection and recognition, right? We were talking about images and videos, right? So when we talk about images, videos, all those things, images and all those things, we will talk about convolution. We'll try to think about how to solve that problem using convolutional neural network algorithm. Similarly, if we talk about time series data or maybe some data corresponding to some natural language text, we are going to talk about recurrent neural network or LSTMs, right? NLP data or maybe some sequence data, right? Like time series or something, we are going to talk about recurrent neural networks, right? So computer vision is going to come under this umbrella of convolutional neural networks, right? Similarly, NLP is going to come under the umbrella of this recurrent neural network, right? And finally, somewhere in the course, we are going to put something called as SQL and Tableau. Yes, is there any question? Anyone? I think Ajay, you have unmuted your mic. Okay. Now, is the curriculum, are you able to understand the entire curriculum? This is a very extensive curriculum. It is going to take some time to complete this entire field of machine learning, deep learning, and all these things. And your learning won't stop at the end of this course. Okay, let me be very clear at this point. Your learning is not going to end if you choose this entire field, right? Because this field is ever evolving. Okay. Every day new algorithm or something new is coming into the picture, right? In deep learning, in data analysis, right? In these fields, something new is coming daily, right? So you need to be updated. You need to get updated daily, right? So maybe daily or maybe weekly or monthly, you need to get updated. You need to read a lot. You need to learn a lot in this entire field, right? So your learning is not going to end. Your learning is going to just start if you choose this entire thing, right? And it is really very interesting to solve some of the very complex problems that we as a human being, we think that these are the very complex problems. But if you start thinking in the terms of AI, machine learning, and deep learning, you will be, if you are able to solve the problem, it is going to be amazing, right? So you are going to see multiple different problems, case studies, right, that you are going to solve as a part of this course. And finally, you will have some capstone project, right, on which you are going to work as an individual or a team. Now, any questions, any doubts, anything regarding the course or regarding the things that you are going to learn, or maybe any random query, anything?
So we will be able to view all this thing, when, like, on, through the access that they have provided us, right? I hope they have not done it yet, but everything that you have mentioned, would it be there somewhere for us to view?
Yes. So what is going to happen is you are going to get an access to an LMS.
Okay.
Okay. You will get an account, you will get an access to LMS and all the class recordings that are going to be, so let's say someday you are not able to attend any class.
Yeah, yes.
Right.
That
so
also I wanted to ask. Okay.
Yeah. So all those things, all the reading materials, right? All the reading materials, all the video materials, and everything is going to be kept under a place called as LMS. Okay, you will get a student LMS, and there you will be able to view and access to all the material.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Yes. Any other query?
Again, here, Mary,
Yes,
this
yes,
is not
yes.
a query, but the entire thing that you explained just now, it somehow has freshened my memory about watching that movie, The Imitation Game.
Mhm.
It was based on this person called Alan Turing, the great British mathematician who built a machine, and he fed that machine with various syllables. And he has done it so many times so that they could, decipher the code, the German code, and how they won the war. Like, because you said that we need to feed data in syllables and stuff.
Correct. So they build something called as an decryptor in that machine, so that they can decrypt the language, the messages that they were getting from the other side, right?
Yes. Because Germans were known to build something which none of the country's experts could actually decode, and he was the first guy who could do it.
Yes.
So that probably was like in 1930s or 40s something.
Let me tell you one very interesting thing. After that war, when this all happened, So Alan Turing was the guy who came up with Alan Turing and others from his team. These were the guy who actually came up with this idea, with this question. That the question was something like this. It was funny at that time, but at this moment in time, it is everybody is working on that question actually. So the question was, can machine thinks? Can machine think? Or in simple term, can machine do the intelligent tasks that we as a human being can do? This was the question. This was the time when this entire field of AI actually came into picture. People started to work on this AI. People started to work on the deep learning algorithms, the machine learning algorithms that built this entire thing, right? The vector algebra that we are going to learn as a part of linear algebra, that also came after 1900s, right? So the entire thing that you are going to learn is fairly very new, right? So it is not even a century old. Right?
Yeah.
So,
yes.
All right. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, that was not a question,
yes,
but I just wanted to say, I mean, it kind of just, hit me because I do not come from the coding background. I mean, I work on different kinds of codes, but yes, this is different.
I will suggest you to watch a series. That is a YouTube series. It is called as, it is on artificial intelligence. Anyone who knows about that series?
Robot
Downey Jr., right? So the Iron Man, he is a host or something in that series. That series is called as, I think, anyone who knows in the chat, maybe you can, maybe I'll suggest everyone to watch that series. It is a very interesting series. You will know what are the things possible with AI and what.
It's not about Sherlock Holmes, right?
No, not Sherlock Holmes.
Not Sherlock. Okay.
No. Let me quickly search it. The age of AI. I think the age of AI. If you search for the age of AI. Yes. The series is called as The Age of AI. Okay, have a look at that series and maybe share your reviews. Okay, the first episode itself is going to be crazy. Have a look at the series. All right, so any other questions, guys?
So we do have classes from Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 in the evening.
Yes.
Okay.
Monday to Friday, the classes?
Yes, Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 in the evening.
Okay.
Do we have any real-time examples?
Yes, all the things that you will learn in this course will come. So all the examples that we are going to take will be from real time, right? So there won't be any outdated or anything like textbook examples. So people who are going to teach you are going to come from industry and they are also going to have some real-time examples. Coming to the real-time data sets, that is not possible. I hope everybody understands that, because real-time data set, it contains lots of data which no one can share the real data, right? So real data, that is not possible, but real-time examples, that is definitely possible. But how do we replicate that data wala problem, right? Because we want to work on some real data. So Kaggle is a place, okay? Kaggle is a place where you can find lots and lots of data, right? Lots and lots of data set. You can go for 1 MB data set. You can also go for 1 GB data set or maybe 100 GB data set, right? A data set which can't even fit in your computer's RAM, right? And you can get all this data from Kaggle, and many of the companies like Facebook, Stack Overflow, right? Netflix, they have contributed to the data set that are available on Kaggle, right? We are going to use multiple different data sets from Kaggle or maybe some other open source or openly available repositories. Is it
Thank you.
Okay. Any other queries? I will wait for 1 more minute and then we can end the class. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
I belong to the pharmacy background, and I am interested in this data science course. So can it be correlated with my pharmacy background?
Yes, see, I'm not very well versed with the pharmacy or this background, but yes, I have seen that many a times you will use many of the concepts from data science. For example, in your drug testing that you do in pharmacy, right? So
Yes.
you will use something called as hypothesis testing, right? Or
Yes.
A/B testing will be used in that case.
Okay.
Right, so you will learn as a part of this course all these testing things, right? So because in software industry also you will be using this hypothesis testing as well as A/B testing, and when it comes to data sets you are going to anyways look at multiple different things. I don't actually recall all the things, but yes, there are multiple different data sets that you can work as a part of your capstone project from a medical field or the pharmaceutical field.
Okay.
Right.
So I don't need to leave that pharmacy background for this one.
No. In pharmacy background, there is a huge shortage of data scientists who actually know this entire domain, right?
Yes.
So maybe you can do some capstone project in the pharmacy related capstone project, right? And you can apply for the companies which are looking for data scientists, which are the pharmaceutical companies, because they have a lot of data and they want to do multiple different stuff with that data.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other questions?
Actually, I too belong from mechanical background, with 7 years experience in mechanical background, but I want to shift to my career. So, is there any we have seen some of the interviews I tried to change my career that I have faced that I can't hire mechanical for this field like that. So,
see, Chaitanya.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I got your query. We actually get this kind of query a lot. So see, if you are completely shifting your career from a mechanical background to the IT background or to the data science background, right? So try to maybe use what you have learned in the field, right? Maybe try to have some case studies that belong to what you are working with, right? So maybe let's say you want to have, maybe let's say, let me try to think of some use case. Yes, maybe let's say you want to have, maybe let's say there is a big plant, big industry, okay?
Yes, sir.
Maybe let's say in this industry, there are multiple different machines that are installed, right? Maybe let's say production ke liye, there are multiple different machines that are present in this plant, right? You want to have some system that requires you to have some cameras, which these cameras are going to take on a periodical interval, maybe let's say after each 1 hour or maybe after maybe each maybe let's say 6 hours, they will take some snapshot of the machine that is trying to produce something, right? And on those photos, whatever this camera is going to collect, you want to analyze the health of this machine.
Yes, sir.
Right, so these are the kind of things you can do. Maybe you can work on some image data set.
Yes, sir.
Right, you can work on some image data set to do these kind of things, right? So I'm not sure if lots of things from the mechanical background are going to be helpful, but surely some of the things that you have learned in the mechanical field are going to be really helpful. But you have to work as a fresher in this field of data science if you are really starting your career. Maybe
no problem at all, sir. I have chosen this data science for that thing, accepting that thing. Like I have to work as a fresher. That's why then only I can get something knowledge.
Yes. You have to learn, right? This is your learning phase, so you should not be worried about working as a fresher. So even if you get a maybe internship or something, do not worry. Just try to grab that internship opportunity and try to work and try to learn as much as you can.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Will you provide any internship offers to us?
Yes, after you complete this entire program, if you are performing really well, if your attendance and everything is up to the mark, then you will be given some internship opportunities as well.
And what about the certificates?
About the
What about the certificates?
actually, I didn't get the question.
Will you provide us any certificates for the
Okay,
courses?
certificates. Okay, yes. So the certificate, you are anyways going to get a participation certificate. You are going to get a performance certificate based on the performance, right? Attendance, performance. There will be multiple assignments. If you are able to complete all those assignments and everything, then you are going to get the performance certificate as well. Along with that, there is something called as IBM certifications that you will receive, right?
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Any other query?
Do we have any placement opportunities once the course is over?
Placement assistance will be provided from our team. Yes. So your resumes will be forwarded to the companies from our side. Okay. Cracking the interview and basically going to that interview and cracking the interview, that is all up to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other queries? From the next class onwards, I will suggest to everyone to use the chat box also, the people who are not communicating on the voice chat.
You are telling about internship, right?
Sorry?
You are telling about internship? Hello?
Yes, internship, yes.
Is there any chance to do internship for working professional?
Yes, you can anyways come for the internship if you want after the completion of the program. Okay, regularly we will be having some internship program running. So if you want to join that program, you are anyways welcome to join any of the internship programs.
How to manage the both?
Sorry?
How to manage work and job and this?
Okay, so what we are trying to do is, we can't guarantee on that, but yes, we are trying to have some work from home internship. We are experimenting that. If it is a success that then you can apply for the work from home internship as well. Okay, in that way, you can also manage the work and the internship, both the things. But it is going to be a hectic thing to manage both the things. Let me tell you that. Because there are going to be multiple different tasks that you have to do as a part of your internship. Okay, so you might be working a lot in that internship period. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Actually, I want to know the exact duration of this course because as I have Googled it, it's showing different durations. Like someone is saying 3 months to 6 months, and also it depends on some 2 years, 3 years like that.
Yes. So see, what actually happens is, see, if somebody is saying that they can learn, they can basically make you learn machine learning, deep learning, this entire field of AI in 2 months. That is a scam, right? First of all, that is a scam, right? So it is not possible to even learn machine learning and all these things in 4 months also, right? From our side, we can deliver the lectures in 4 months, right? We can deliver all the things from our end in 4 months, right? After that, or within these 4 months, the things that you can grab, you just need to make sure that you are working really hard in grabbing all the things that we are delivering in these 4 months.
It depends on us.
Yes, it depends on you, but it is not so nobody can learn machine learning or deep learning in 2 months. No, that is not possible. 3 months not possible. I don't think even in 4 months it is not possible. It is a continuous process of learning. You will be knowing a couple of things in machine learning, deep learning, in all these things in 4 months. But in order to actually become a data scientist or somebody who can work in AI, you need to continuously learn and continuously work on your skills, right? I'm still working on so many things. I'm still learning a lot in this entire field. Okay, so you just need to be really up for working really hard, and it is rewarding also. Okay, it is rewarding also. You are going to have really good jobs and all those things.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? All right, so I will end the session now. It was really a nice class, right? So I really enjoyed teaching all of you. So from Monday onwards, somebody from Python background is going to take the class. They are going to start with Python programming. Okay, so I hope everybody best of luck. Not the best of luck, but I would say all the best for the future for this entire course. And yes, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Thank you so much. Bye.